Are you preparing to take the real estate exam and wondering, how can I pass this the first time? Keep watching and I will share with you 5 proven strategies to passing the exam the very first time you take it. I am Nonya, your real estate tutoress. Welcome to this channel. I am a licensed instructor as well as a licensed real estate broker in Illinois. On this channel, I bring you the best tips and tools to getting your real estate license. I also answer any questions you may have about the process. If you're new here, welcome, and do consider subscribing. Let's dive into the 5 strategies. The first strategy is that you have to have a plan. First, you got to figure out how much time do you have to get licensed. Even if there's no rush, you have to set a deadline for yourself. For example, I need to be licensed by May. I need to be licensed by the spring market. So if you want to do that, you got to take your class and the exam by March so that come March you are licensed and ready to hit the pavement. But if you're just kind of like, yeah, I just want to get this license. Yeah, I just want to get this license. And you're just, going about your day, trust me, you will push it back so long, all right? There was a license I was going for and I didn't really have any motivation, and it took me a couple of months to actually schedule the exam. When I had a plan, like when I was getting my broker license, I had a date, I had certain deadlines I had to meet, and so I was on it. And what I did was I set my time and I knew how much time I had. So I grabbed a calendar and I figured out, okay, in order to hit this goal, how many chapters do I have to study every day? Let's say you have 6 weeks and you have 30 chapters. So that's essentially 5 chapters every week. Now, how are you going to break down those 5 chapters? Maybe 1 every day. So that's just an example, but that's one way to do it for yourself so that you can plan to stay on track and then go take the test. So first things first, make sure you have a plan. Second thing is you must stick to the plan. Let's use the example from before. We have 6 weeks and then we have 30 chapters. So I said 5 chapters every week. When you're setting that up, make sure you're giving yourself room to recover. Leave the weekends open so that if you don't get through 5 chapters that week, you can always use the weekend to catch up. And that helps you stay focused, because if you cram everything and don't leave margin, you could lose momentum because you're just frustrated, you're burning out and all of that. So you need to make sure that you give yourself some time to recover. Now, when you focus and get it done in 6 weeks, it may be difficult to do. It may seem like, crap, you mean I'm not going to have a life for 6 weeks? Yes, but it's only for 6 weeks. It's not for the rest of your life. For 6 weeks, you focus, you get it done, and guess what? Once you pass, you could do whatever you want once you pass. You could have a party, you could throw your book away and never open it again, right? You could do whatever you want once you have passed. But until then, you must keep your focus. You must continue to follow the plan and implement that plan so that you succeed. Here's another way to think about it. Let's say you give yourself 6 weeks and you don't keep up with the 6 weeks. All right, now it's 8 weeks and you're like, crap, I gotta study again. Then you go take it because you really didn't study, and you go take it in 8 weeks, you don't pass. Now you have to study again, and now we're getting to 12 weeks. Then you don't pass, and you're just like, it's dragging and dragging, and then it's 6 months, then it's a whole year, and you haven't still passed. Or you have 6 weeks, you put your head down, you focus on it for 6 weeks, and then you're done. And then now, while other people are like, oh crap, I failed and I have to do it again, you're out there practicing and making money and helping people find real estate for themselves. So it's gonna be hard either way you do it. Either you focus for 6 weeks or you let it drag for a long period of time. You get to choose your own hard. Third strategy is taking great notes. As you are reviewing the course material by yourself or even in class with your instructor, make sure that you are taking great notes. If you watched the previous video I did, you would have seen that the course work is a lot. The books are large. If you haven't seen that video, I will leave a link in the description below. It's a lot of information. After you go through the book one time, you may not have enough time to go through it again. But if you're taking great notes, you can review those notes. So as you're studying, make sure you have a pen and paper or notebook actually by you, or if you're more of a computer type, you're typing out the keywords, key concepts, things that you need to review in the future so that you can use them to prepare for the examination. And if you take an in-person class or have an instructor-led video or something like that, your instructor will give you some of those concepts. So be sure to pay attention in class and get good notes. Again, remember, everything is kind of building up on its own. First, we're planning, then we're focusing and implementing that plan. And the third thing is, while we are implementing that plan, we're taking great notes so that we're preparing for the exam when we get there. So that is number 3, taking great notes. If you have been finding this information helpful, be sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when next I upload a video. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any additional questions or strategies you wanted to share with people who are preparing to take the exam. The 4th strategy is doing practice questions. If you have a textbook from your school, you will have questions at the back of every chapter. If you don't have that, reach out to your school. They may have it online instead. Now make sure that you are completing all those practice questions. Do as many practice questions as you can get your hand on. Go online and look for exam prep tools that also have practice questions that you can use. One that I will highly recommend is Prep Agent. I have a 20% discount in the description box below. Check them out as they have videos, webinars, questions that would also help you prepare for the examination. When you do these practice questions, make sure that you're also reviewing the answers when you're done. Don't just memorize the answers and say, oh, question 1, B, and next time you get question 1, you already know it's B before you read the question. That's not how to prepare with practice questions. What you need to do is, as you do the questions, you get your answers, right? You go back to the question and figure out, okay, I got this right. Why is this the right answer? And you figure out why it's the right answer so that when you get that same similar question and it's worded differently, all right, you pick the right answer again. Or you figure out for yourself, why is this the wrong answer? Then it helps you study that concept as well. So let's say you picked the wrong answer, but it was for something else. Now you review that wrong answer and you learn that concept for that wrong answer. So that's another way you're studying the material. And then when you get it right, you're studying the material again. So as you do practice questions, you're testing yourself, you're preparing your brain for the actual exam, which is all multiple choice. And then you are studying the material through a different route. And your brain is able to assimilate more and you don't get bored from just reading and reading and reading the book. Look out for words like true or false, except. For example, all of the following are true except, or which of the following is not. So you're looking for those keywords so that you're reading the question properly. As you do practice questions, you will begin to notice some patterns about yourself. You're going to notice things about yourself. Some people, like me, I don't read the whole question. I just skim through it and I think I've read it. Now, as I'm doing practice questions, I'm learning that about myself. So what am I going to do? I'm going to slow down and make sure I read the question. Some people overthink their questions. Let's say you overthink questions. Now, when you're reviewing the question, you're like, oh, I actually knew this, but then I was thinking blah, blah, blah. That's fine, but you're learning yourself so that the next time you get a question and you see yourself beginning to think outside of the question, you can kind of reel yourself back in and focus on the actual question and not like, well, it could be this. Don't do that with the Illinois examination. Just focus on the actual question they asked you. And finally, number 5, schedule your exam for success. In Illinois, once you have completed the course, you can go ahead and schedule your exam online. The school you attend will notify the testing company that you are eligible to schedule your exam, so you don't need to submit any paperwork to anybody else. If you are a morning person, schedule your exam in the morning. If you are not a morning person, do not schedule your exam in the morning. Schedule it in the afternoon. They have those different times, morning times and afternoon times. If you're going to drive to the location, make sure you know where parking is, so when you get there, you're not stressed about parking. If you're taking public transportation, also have that ready and plan for any traffic or any of those things before you go, so that that's not going to stress you more. For example, I am not a morning person, so I'm not going to schedule my exam for 9 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to take the afternoon time. And with that, I leave my house at least an hour and a half or so before, so I get there with at least 30 minutes to spare. And then I can, as I'm sitting right there, I'm reviewing some of my notes, and my body is calm. I'm not like, oh crap, I'm running late. And that's stressing your body out. Because you've done these things I've been talking about, you will feel confident and ready to take that exam, and you won't be freaking out or stressing out. Make sure you eat before you go so that you are not hungry when you are taking the exam. That's another stressor. Make sure you get a good night's sleep the night before so that you're not there going, oh, I'm so tired. Your brain will not be functioning at its optimal capacity when you're exhausted. So those are little things to think about, but those can make a huge difference when you go to sit for an examination. And you won't be tired because you've been preparing for 6 weeks, right? Versus if you just wake up and you're like, crap, I need to do this thing, and then you're cramming overnight and now you're tired. You go to take the exam and now you can't really focus because you're really exhausted. Just as a recap, be sure to have a plan. Have a plan for yourself before you begin the process. If you already started, that's okay. Get your plan today and begin to plan towards success. Secondly, implement that plan. Write it out and begin to implement it. Third, as you're studying and implementing the plan, take great notes so that you can review those notes when you are preparing for the exam. Fourth thing is practice questions. As many as you can lay your hands on, do the practice questions over and over and over again. But please do not memorize these questions, as they will not be the ones you will find on the Illinois broker examination. And finally, schedule your exam for success. Think of your future self, all right? What would your future self thank you for? And schedule your exam for that. If you do these things, you will pass the exam the very first time. If you want to know more about the real estate exam, check out this video I will link here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.